I love printing. I love printing. I love it. I love printing.
Hello, everyone. I'd like to welcome you back to another session in my series, Printer to Printer. Today, I am fortunate enough to have with my good buddy, John Cassidy from Duplicates Inc. in South Carolina. First of all, I know you all I always say my good buddy when I start off, but the truth is everyone I talk to, they're all good buddies. Anyone in print is a buddy of mine. If you're in print and you don't like it, you're not my buddy, so get the hell out. So let's get on. So John, thanks for joining me. It's always a pleasure.
Thank you, bud.
And
love watching you.
You know what? It's nice to know there's another person who watches because I don't really know how many, aside from friends. So first of all, I just want to give you the opportunity to tell us a little bit about Duplicates Inc. So you get like 2 minutes to commercialize yourself.
Oh, thanks, man. So, Duplicates Inc., we started almost 30 years ago. It's me and a good friend of mine from college. And I moved from New Jersey down.
Sorry, does your friend have a name just to give him credit?
Yeah, he does.
Okay.
It's Scott Creech.
All right,
Creech.
Scott.
So Scott and I, we met in college at Coastal Carolina University. It's here in Myrtle Beach. I moved from New Jersey down to Myrtle, and I never left the beach. And we had quite a bit of fun. But one evening we were out about our senior year, and we're at a bar, and I asked him. I said, "Hey man, what you gonna do when you get out?" Almost like we're in jail.
Yeah, I was gonna say, sounds like, yeah. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, and he's like, "I don't know." And I said, "Man, I don't know either." I said, "Let's start a business." And we started. We didn't know what we were doing. We were just kind of lazy, really. We didn't want to work for somebody. We started a little business that ran around to all the municipalities and grabbed building permit information. So think about this: 30 years ago, there was no laptops, no computers, really, no internet, and we had these little laptop static RAM things, and we would collect these building permits. Well, we wound up publishing this information ourselves. We bought a copier, and we figured out how to make it legible, and we put it into a database format, and we started selling subscriptions to it. Well, we didn't realize that was the pinnacle shift in printing, one of the many we've had over the long history of it. And quick printing was come around. The little Macs, remember the little tiny Macs? And
Oh, geez.
We knew PageMaker, and we would
PageMaker, what's that?
Yeah, right.
I think that was with Quark.
Yeah, well, it was before Quark, right?
Before Quark, right?
Yeah, and we would do. People would ask us, "Hey, can you do this menu for us, or could you do this?" And instead of it taking a week like the traditional printers would take, we were able to knock it out right away. And we fell into printing. So we had this little office, and we were making copies for this little book we were doing, and we just put a sign in the window that said "Copies 10 cents." And it kind of grew from there. And now we've grown and we've evolved over the years. As I met you at Epicom, and that's where we met. I was speaking about diversification, and over the years we've embraced that, and we've always been on the edge of learning new technology, how we can help clients, and we try not to be vendors. We try to be partners with our clients. And really take a ownership in it and help them grow, and that's through technology and how technology can be how we can leverage it, right? And so here we are now, we're 2020, and
we're living the dream.
Living absolutely the friggin' dream. It's like I think people like my kids and other people outside of the industry thinks that. As a printer, we print money. And, that's not the case. But
that's not the case. It's actually quite the opposite.
That's it. But when we're faced with times like this, so along the way, our timeline, Scott and I both found out what our strengths were, and mine was kind of the face and the sales and the marketing and the vision.
That's why I'm talking to you and not him.
That's right. Scott handles the business. He makes sure we stay profitable. He makes sure we don't get crazy with expenses. Make sure that we charge the customers, a fair amount. And it's worked really well. 30 years in business, man. We've been through some trials and tribulations like we're going through now. Like a couple years ago, we had a flood, and we didn't have flood insurance. and we made it through. And that was all.
By the way,
blue sky.
when you have like a flood and you don't have flood insurance, and you somehow manage to pull your shit together and endure, that kind of sets you up for life and gives you a good backbone, right?
Yeah, the resilience, is something. And I remember that was 2018, and we're looking at each other. We made it through.
So that was 2018. So that's just like 2 years ago. You had misery just to prepare yourself for COVID.
He said, we looked at each other and goes, man, we can make it through this shit. We can make it through anything. And then COVID hits. It's like, what the hell? But we're making it through. So
cool.
I've got a anyone ask for the best partner in the world, Scott Creech. He's the guy. He makes sure that we're able to fiscally stay through this. We didn't have to get rid of anyone during this shit we're going through now. Yeah. And
first of all, kudos to you. And it's really nice to hear someone say something about their partner like that, because I know a lot of people in business, and a lot of people won't even mention their partner's name in any form. So I think that's pretty cool. You say you didn't lay anybody off during this craziness, I'll call it. Why is that? How's that? What did you do? Were you receiving government assistance at the same time? And just fill me in.
Some of it comes from history and going through shit before. So, here we went through the flood, and we knew when that flood hit, not having flood insurance, we needed to apply early because a lot of people would be applying. So when this happened and the PPP program came out, we took advantage of it, dude. We were probably a week ahead of time. We do some work for some financial institutions around here, and had a couple folks,
cool.
that do tell us that something was getting ready to happen, and they didn't know, but they knew enough to, hey, get us this information, and we'll make sure you're on the top of the list.
By the way, that's where good relations come into play.
100%.
That's when who you know is more important than what you know.
That it goes back to being a partner. It really does. You know what I mean? So being a partner, not just a vendor.
Yeah. By the way, in what I've learned in life, it's bigger than being a partner. It's about being a good person, because karma's a bitch. But when you're good and you pay it forward, I've had it happen many times where I've paid it forward and it's come back to me. Maybe it didn't come back to me the way I wanted, but I was smart enough to recognize that it was coming back to me in some way. And it kind of just shapes who you become and what you do in the future, right? And in helping people, it can't always be about the price. It's got to be about the value.
100%. You hit it on the head about the value.
Right. It's, when you said you popped a sign on your window and you started at 10 cents a copy, my first thought was to say to you, please tell me that the copy didn't cost you 8 cents and you just put on a few cents.
Right. No,
right?
No, yeah, it wasn't that. I was just trying to utilize some time and hell, and I didn't know what I was doing.
But I know what you know. Today, I've run into people, they pop, even the copy shops or the whoever, and they're giving out a price per copy. I give a price out for a project. Right? Because you got your price per copy. You got the space that the guy's standing on next to the machine. You got the space for the machine. You got the electricity. You got it can't just be, So when I talk education, but when I mentioned education before, I did a video a few months ago, okay, maybe longer than a few months ago, on costing. And I had about 50, 60 people reach out to me because I offered my free Excel sheet on how I came up with the costing for the plant, right? So every piece of equipment, every space, depreciation, variable, invariable. And at the end of the day, it gave you your hourly rate based on 180, not whatever percent capacity. So you can use that if you want after to make your pricing, or charge what you want, but at least you know what your true costs are. Okay, if you want to make an educated sell below cost decision, go right ahead, choke yourself. But I think there's a lot of people in our industry that do not even know what the true cost of what they do are.
Now, a lot of them don't value their time. Right?
Well, that too.
Oh, I mean, that you'll see, and we still see it in, the smaller shops that, or maybe some of the bigger ones, but they, you know, they say this paper cost me X amount of dollars, I'm going to triple it. Well, what's your time worth, dude? You know, I mean, well, you got to charge for your time, and I don't know. I can go on a whole tangent.
No, it makes me crazy. I listen to some printers and they say, yeah, we put a 30-point markup on our press and then we only put 10 points on the paper. And I'm looking, what are you, an idiot? But no, because it's costing you dollars. Anything that you're actually laying out dollars, you need to mark up even more, right? Because you don't know if you're getting it back. Your time you get to listen. I remember when I first started, and we started off with 2 AB Dick 385s, like the little black and white duplicators, and we had an AB Dick collating machine. And I remember my first mailer job that I got, I think it was like a couple thousand flyers in a envelope, and me being who I am at the time that didn't know anything, I remember licking 1,500 envelopes myself because I didn't know about the sponge. Right? And at the time it was like, okay, it's only my time, it doesn't matter. I mean,
right.
Forget that at the end of the day, like, I tasted like gum, but we do some dumb things along the way that we don't put the value on. But when you do that, you learn. You should never, ever, ever sell a job without margin or value to anybody. And any customer who says to you, I need a favor, tell them to kiss your ass, because the favors don't end. And if you can't afford the few grand to do it, you should not be doing it. I should not be funding your business.
That's right.
Right? And then I think, and the more important thing is, but they're also not coming back to give you the money you laid out.
A lot of folks watching me get it, I'm sure.
Well, everybody thinks, it's like I would say to someone would say to me, can you take $10 off? And I'd say, no. And they go, it's only $10. I said, yeah, but 1,000 people a year ask me to take $10. That's $100,000 at the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And when you, I mean, I remember having, I have a great thing for when you're selling people. I used to do this a few times. Somebody would say to me, give them a quote a job, 10, 20 grand, whatever. And they'd say to me, well, can you do anything? And I'd say, why do you always ask? I say, can't you just live with the fact that I do my best to come in here and give you the price? I said, the job's 10 grand. I make $2,100 net. How much of my $2,100 would you like back? Right? And I'm telling you, and I kid you not, no one takes a penny after. They think that on 10,000, we're making 8. You need to be able to explain nicely how the business operates and what you need to do, because we can't buy the latest and greatest and fastest if we're not getting paid.
We're one of the only industries where all of our equipment costs this high, and we buy expensive shit so we could do what with our prices?
Yeah, no.
And that's crazy. Absolutely insane. You know, but what happens, I think, you know, and I get it. People got to do what they got to do to feed their families and self-preservation. But, you know, one of the, in my opinion, one of the worst things is that people open up as a print broker, right? And they get a website and they now offer all this printing and all this bullshit, and they don't do it. It doesn't matter if they do it in-house or they don't do it in-house, but they don't do it at a fair market value. They commoditize what we do. And at the end of the day, guys, if you're watching this and you're in printing and you're a print broker, I don't give a shit. You're a custom manufacturer, right? You take raw item and you make something special out of it, right? You make something special, right? And to give that away that's a slow death. You know, there's my advice to anybody watching right now.
Oh, I'm right on that. Listen, first of all, I think, and I love the industry, but some of the trade printers should be shot.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, they're running their presses at $150 an hour, $170 an hour, which is wrong. I also think the manufacturers who, we need them, and I love them, and there's some great ones, and I've dealt with some wicked ones over the years, wicked good, but I think that they all need to learn how to better teach their customers, even the pricing or the costing or certain things that they should do, right? I remember once, I think it was a Premier Partners meeting and Xerox Premier Partners meeting, and I think we were at Drupa. Yeah, it must have been Drupa. And I had the opportunity with other Premier Partner members to have lunch with Ursula Burns at the time, right? She was the former CEO of Xerox.
Xerox.
And, you know, at one point we went around the table and she said, what can we do to help you? And like, of course, my hand was up in a minute. And she's like, another question? And I'm like, yeah, because nobody talks at the table. And I said, you know what? You could better teach your people how to teach us what we should be selling at, because you just want to sell us the box, and then you sell us the box, and then I find out that I'm competing against the guy with the same box who's doing it at half the price because he doesn't understand. Right?
Yeah.
Or I would even say to them, you guys want to sell equipment to end users, that's cool. I get you have graphics and another, but don't give the end user the same click price you're giving me.
Right.
It should be automatically 40% more because we're reselling. And now you make me look like a moron when I go into that customer who put the machine in and they say, well, we just got the machine. You've been ripping us off. We're not doing business with you in any way. Right? Like I just think, you know, there's a lot of stuff in our industry that can use some updating and some changing. But I think as the industry is changing, we need to be smarter. We need to bitch less because nobody's interested anymore. You know, quick question. How are your customers? Like, have you spoken to them? What have you heard back from them? Are some good? Are they worried? Are they bad? And I ask that question to everyone because every area is a little different in their feeling.
Yeah. For us, you know, we did that approach where, you know, we've reached out to people on the phone, right? Not send them a print piece of, hey, you need to buy printing, or hey, you need to buy a banner that you're open, or floor graphics. That's part of continuous marketing, but it was picking up a phone and saying, you know, hey, Warren, man, this is John at Duplicates. I just want to reach out, see how you and your family doing. You guys, you know, anything like that. That's well received, obviously, because we show empathy and we show compassion and it's genuine. Don't do it. We did never do it as some, you know, bullshit. You know, just going through the motions. But what we find is because of all the crazy ass media out there, and all of us are glued to the news and Facebook and social media.
Hang on. I just want to tell you, in March, I stopped watching the news, Fox, CNN, and local, because they're all full of shit. And the one thing, first of all, I don't talk about anything else in the world other than the misery that's on North America. And the one thing that happened when I stopped watching the news, my level of anxiety in general went down.
And this is what I find out, you know, and this is just a truism through history, is that a confused mind does what? Nothing, right? A confused mind does nothing. And for the most part, I think people, business owners, marketers, they're confused. They don't know what's up, right? It's you're going into a dark cave, and so they're not doing anything. Is what I am seeing in my area. You know, I'm in a tourist market, so you know attractions have been shut down, and you know, even though we were well diversified with customer types, their sales were based off of tourism. And that just trickles down. We had a very, very steady year up until September. September was like, man, I had to ask if we paid the phone bill because the phone stopped ringing, you know?
Right.
And it was crazy. So, you know, we took a bump. To get back to you asked earlier, I didn't answer you, is did we take advantage of any of the government assistance? Yes, we did PPP. We did the PPP deal, and that's how we kept our folks on board.
Cool.
And we did not take advantage of the SBA because the SBA loan that we had, because we already did one for the flood.
Right.
Right. So, you know, so now to get back to where we were about our customers, is, man, just reaching out to them and actually be empathetic and compassionate and a resource for them, right? Is saying, listen, you know, it goes back to grassroots relationship building. I don't want to say the word sales because sales come natural. But
I
like,
agree.
you know,
I agree.
it's the if I would you method. You know, hey, Warren, if I could help you, you know, get some more sales going, do some things that are different outside of your competitors, would you give me about 15 minutes to talk to you? I better have a damn idea for you. You know what I mean? I don't go in there just saying, shit, what do I do now?
But it's, it's all in the tone. I've been on a lot of Zooms, listening to a lot of people, and you know, I started doing this series because I want to talk to people about the real deal. I'm listening to all these Zooms and everyone's saying direct mail, go to your customers, it's the best way to reach people, but nonstop. It's like a battery of it. And you know what? The restaurants and, you know, around where I am, we just went into another red alert, so the restaurants are closed. If a guy spent 10 grand 2 months ago or a month ago, whatever, on a mailing, it's not worth anything. I wouldn't even recommend to a restaurant to do, okay, as a business owner, not a salesman and not somebody in the company, I don't have it in me to recommend to a restaurant that they should go do a mailing to their customers to get them to come back for takeout or something. And I hate to say that because I'm in the print business, but as an owner, and some of the friends I've spoken to and I've brought up print or I have some ideas, they're like, go screw yourself right now. I'm worried about keeping the dishwasher. You know, we'll find some customers. Like it's,
are they shut down completely, or they can do to-goes and take
right now they could do takeout. So it was only takeout and delivery, DoorDash, Uber, whatever. And then restaurants were opened outside, inside with spacing, plexi, and the whole 9 yards. And then we had Labor Day and then the back to school, and then the numbers and the cases started spiking. So they just went into a 28-day lockdown. Businesses are open, restaurants are open for takeout, but they're trying to really stop the socializing because people are bloody stupid. This isn't about politics. This is about science, right? So if people would just follow a little, we need the number, even a vaccine. You can't vaccinate 7 billion people in 6 months and we're all back to normal, you know? So
I'm going to give the $1 million idea for anybody that's watching, right?
Yeah, please give the idea. But we are living crazy times, and I do think getting to the ownership of your customers and sitting them down and just having real compassionate conversations, and then how could we together take baby steps to move? Because the other problem is, and I did a video not long ago, no one's talking about the credit. Plenty of people owe a lot of money from prior to COVID starting, right? And now they want to do more. So how do you deal with that when a guy owes you 10 grand and he wants to spend 5, and you're not sure if his business is going to stay open?
Man, you know, it's candor, obviously. It's being having those hard conversations are probably the most important part. And believe it or not, I believe it builds on your relationship, right? So it's, for me, it'd be, hey, Warren, man, I appreciate everything we've done over the last 13 years. And, you know, going into this thing, we were owed $7,000, and I know you're shut down right now. And, you know, you got to do some printing. How about, you know, we add 10% of what your outstanding is to the current invoice, and you pay that way. You know, I mean, you got to get creative that way. You can't be a dick about it. I think you just say you're cut off.
I also think everybody's waiting for that conversation because on all sides, we're all nervous. A lot of people don't have it, but when you bring it, I believe when you bring it up in the way that you just described, your customer sitting on the other end going, oh, this is going to be an easy conversation, because you've just taken out the big fear and the big worry about the money.
Yeah.
Right. And you brought it up, and you're not saying to him, I'm closing you down. You're saying to him, I'm working with you. We're getting through this together.
Right. And you know, and honestly, you know, maybe some of the folks watching have done this or they haven't done it, but immediately when that flood happened or this thing happened, like, you know, I call this kind of shit speed bumps, right? That was my goal in life one day is I'm going to write a book called Speed Bumps. And it's about life. And you ever hit a speed bump, not ready for it? You know, you're driving pretty fast through a parking lot. You probably shouldn't be going that fast, and you hit it and you're like, fuck. Right? And it's what happens. Well, you slow down, but you keep going forward, right? And you got to keep going forward. This is just another speed bump. But what we did when the flood happened and when this happened, immediately we called all our creditors and said, listen, we don't know what's going to take place, but this is what's happening, what's on the foresight. Can we do something just to help our cash flow right now in the short term until we find out and understand where we are, in the next couple of months. So, and they all appreciate that. So not just as somebody that grants credit, but also somebody
I've learned this over the years, during a couple of my speed bumps. It is always in any situation better to call your vendor or the person you're having an issue with before they call you. If you call them, you've diffused the situation, you've taken the edge off immediately. If you stall and delay and wait for them to call you, it's a lot harder because they're building up all this anxiety before they call you.
Yep, that's right.
Right? So it's always better to take the lead. Okay, so we've been on having a good one. Show me what you were just writing.
Okay, so if you guys want to help out your local businesses and stuff like that, so your restaurants in your area just are in red zone again and just got shut down. This is what I would do. This isn't for everybody. This is what I would do. I would create, I don't know, is this showing it mirrored or is it showing right reading?
What does it say?
All right, it just says, create a website. And
hang on, let me see that again. No, it says it the right way. I think there's a problem with your writing.
Yeah, well, I write like a doctor. Right?
You wish.
I should have written down. So that's why we do prescription pads. You need
right.
Now, hey, so anytownshoplocal.com, whatever the website is, right? And then what I would do is I'd create a mailer that would promote all of those folks. Right. So now have a link, and I've done it. I've done it with a local app for our community. And as soon as this shit started happening, I just created a little feature on the app that had order your food. Right. So order your food from any of the restaurants that are part of the app. This is our app called We Are Conway.
Cool.
Right. And so anybody could order, or if you have a business that has an online store, you could shop online right from your local folks.
Cool. So are you good if I put out there that if anybody wants some information, they should give you a call and have a conversation about that for their own areas?
Yeah, absolutely. Love brainstorming.
Okay. Okay, no, that's cool, because I think also as an industry, we got to come together and share more information, because there are no secrets. Right? There's no secrets. It's just who's gonna get something out there without killing themselves and spending all their money trying.
Well, it's not. What was the old thing that knowledge is power? It's actually not. It's the application of knowledge, right? So
right.
I could tell you all this different shit to do, and if you don't do it,
I got to give you the best analogy. So I love fishing, right? So I got a buddy who's a fishing guide for 30 years, and we can go out and he can catch 30 fish and I catch 2, right? Like he feels the water, he knows the water, he sees the water. And I'm saying to him, come on, dude, you got to give me some musky spots, because season's coming, I want a big one. He goes, there's not a chance of giving you a spot. And I said to him, buddy, you can give me the spot and fish with me. I will still never catch a fish on your spot, because I don't know how to fish your spot.
Right.
Anyways, he still won't give me the spot. But anyways, yeah, well, I try to do analogies to everything with fishing, right? Because it's easier. But anyways, this was a great conversation. When all said and done, man, I just want to thank you for taking the time with me, and want to wish you all the best of luck in these crazy times, for lack of better wording. And as soon as I can get on a plane and cross the border, I'm coming down to hang.
Let's go fishing.
We're going fishing for sure.
Yeah, man, I'd love to do it. All
Excellent. Right. All right, man. Be well. Take care. All right, man. Cheers.
Talk to you soon. Bye.
Ciao.